Good evening, friends and family. Dave, Rolling Springs Ranch. Tonight, Friday night, we are going to do some RV cooking. It's gloomy outside, and we decided to make a peppers, onion, sausage Stromboli, I guess you can say. We made it last week, so we're going to go through the motions again this week because we enjoyed it so much. So I'm going to take you on a journey with me in the kitchen. We are still working, or still living out of the RV, and we are cooking in the RV tonight. So the house is not 100% finished, so we are staged in the camper. All right, so this meal is super easy, super cheap, and it doesn't require a lot of things to make a mess in an RV. Because anybody that lives in an RV knows it doesn't take much to get it cluttered. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown off a package and a half of this sausage. We're doubling the recipe, you know, because we have some company in town, and that's what we're going to do. Just put that in there for now. Take half of this, set that aside because we don't need it. All right, so we got a package and a half. I assume this is 1 pound, 1.5 pounds of Italian sausage. Nothing spicy, nothing crazy. We have pallets, different pallets. All right, so we're gonna dice up some peppers. Throwing a little color in there, even though you're not gonna be able to see them. It's actually, like I said, it's pretty cheap, pretty easy. And so hopefully next year, or by the end of this year, the wife has planted some vegetables in the garden, I guess you can call it. So hopefully by the end of this season, we'll have our fresh peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that she's been kind of growing here inside the camper in the hydroponics, and then transplanting them out into I forget what they call them, but grow bags, I guess you could say. But we just happen to have these in this color, and this is what we're going with tonight. We're just going to give them a little rough cut. They're going to cook down. We're using an induction burner. Living in the RV, we have things that run propane, but we choose, since we are stationary, to use electric. Electric is a lot cheaper than propane at this point. $4 a gallon. Goes pretty quick, but luckily there's not too many things that we use in here that require propane. As you see beside me, we have a convection oven, electric. We don't generally use the RV oven. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dice. So I'm just going to rough cut these, dice them up real quick. I'm going to throw them in our QVC little micro chopper that we have for the RV. And you know, again, different palates with everybody. Some people like chunkiness, some don't like peppers as much. So try to accommodate everybody's wants and needs. I gotta thank Suzuki for this lovely cutting board that they gave me. It's all stamped in the wood, and anniversary gift. So very nice of them. So we're going to turn the induction on. We're going to turn on 375, just warm it up. And get this all browned up. All right, so we got 2 onions cut up. Getting ready to run those through the little chopper. Oh, and again, we planted a ton of onions this year. So we will have plenty of homemade onions. Yeah, in the garden, we have four planters. Well, I wouldn't say planters, but four pots, big pots of potatoes planted, 2 different varieties. So we're gonna have a ton of potatoes, a ton of peppers, a ton of tomatoes, everything, you know. That's this year. Everything's out of grow buckets or bags. And then we use what we had around the farm here to make a climbing wall with chicken wire and some T-posts and so forth. But anyway, that's a different video, different subject. So what we're going to do is put our onions. So you don't want to overload this thing. This is a little housewife tool. I have the Binford Series 5000 gas-powered electric or onion chopper out in the garage. Now we'll give it 3 pulls. We'll look at that. It looks pretty good. So we'll do 3 pulls and nicely diced, chopped, I guess you can say. The smell of the sausage. Alright, so we're just trying to get all this broken up and cooked down. Got some onions in there. I was advised by the production team that I was not supposed to put the onions in. But in my contract, even if they fire me, I get a meal anyway, so. I think it's easy to cook in an RV. And it's also nice, the weather's kind of cool outside. We are up in here in southern central Kentucky. A little cold front came through and it is 65 degrees outside. So we got the doors and windows open, which is pretty nice. We're not used to that whatsoever where we came from. We'd be having the AC on full bore. So I have it on 375 induction burner. Precise. So we're giving this, browning it up. And I'll probably hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper. You know, everybody has their amounts, what they like, but I'll just do a little bit, and then if anybody wants to change it after it's done, they can do so. A little fresh ground pepper. Can't go wrong there. I like pepper. Alright, things are coming along. Trying to get this in smaller chunks. And we're not going to make the dough. Actually, we bought pre-made dough in the tubes. We found it's just easier. They store nice in an RV refrigerator. We don't have to, usually we make our own dough, but it's just too inconvenient right now in a camper. The flour, the mess, the space. So, all right, we're going to add the rest of our onion. All right, so I gave that 5 pulls. I said 3. I gave the onions 3 pulls. But the peppers I gave 5 pulls. Actually, it does a pretty nice job. Super quick. I like it. And that's what you need when you're in an RV. You gotta be super quick. Because the quicker you can get outside, the better off you'll be. You don't want to be all cooped up. Alright, so we'll just put that away. We'll clean that later. And, yeah, looking good. We're gonna sweat that down. Turn it back up. I turned it down when we were chopping. Oh yeah, nice color. And it's a good thing we have the windows open. Smell of the onions. Making your eyes water. A little more pepper. And, you know, we'll just cook those down just a little bit, get some of the moisture out of there. And then we're going to add a spicy marinara to this. We're not going to get it too wet, just enough to kind of coat everything. Alright, kitchen. Very therapeutic. So we can get other things ready here. Got another bowl. And what we're going to do is crack 2 eggs, egg whites, egg wash, once we roll the strombolis up. And let's see here. Okay. Whoop, wrong bowl. And probably that. Little egg for the dog never hurt. They've never had an egg, so they don't know what they're going to be staring at here. And it's super easy to separate the egg yolk from the egg whites. All right. Take a minute. We'll be right back. So what we're doing, we're cooking off some of the moisture from the onions and peppers before we add spicy marinara. I forget what the recipe called for, but it called for something, and the closest thing that we could find in the store is a Sockaroonie. Sockaroonie. I don't know, never heard of it, but peppers, spice, and the whole shebang. So, Newman's special. Newman's own Sockaroonie. So. Alright, let's get this heat cranked up real quick. Burn some of this water off. There's not a lot of grease in here. This is not ground beef. Good. So, alright, we'll set the eggs to the side. Come back to that in a few. Pre-made crust. Easy. Peel it, bang it, spread it. I got a rolling pin out. You don't even need a rolling pin. It's that simple. I'm just trying to cook some of this off real quick. Just kind of keep everything moving around. Okay. Alright, so we have, alright, so a little 9x12 sheet pan. We made 2 strombolis. Looks smaller, but the once you pack the strombolis, it doesn't take much to get filled up anyway. So, convection oven, that's what we're using. I have to find out what temperature we're going to put it at, but I got a few minutes for that anyway. Let's start breaking up some of these bigger chunks. And again, you know, this is kind of what we do We make a lot of meals now inside the camper, especially, you know, on a working farm. We don't really have time to go out and get dinner and everything else. It's just easier just to make it at home.
It's hard to find a good Stromboli.
It is definitely hard to find a good Stromboli. We're in Kentucky. Yeah, they're not known for pizza. That is for sure. I'm sure everybody will give me their opinions on where to go for pizza, but all right. Quite colorful. Still cooking down some onions, some bigger pieces, and they'll cook in the oven also, but we want to try to soften them up a little bit. All right. You can see there's not a whole lot of grease in here. It's the moisture from the onions. It's not like a ground beef, but we can definitely put a paper towel there to soak up some of it. We'll do a little RV trick since you don't pour grease down any drain. Oh, that's the last paper towel there. What we'll do, set that there. And kind of just give it a little turn and let it all run down. Alright, soaking up a little more grease, water, whatever. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit. I think it calls for a 1/3 cup, and again, we're doubling the recipe, but I don't want it too wet. I just want it just enough to coat everything. And then we'll take it off the heat, and then we'll start rolling out our pizza dough. Okay. Little Sockaroonie. Okay. We might need a little bit more. Yeah, we'll do a little more. We kind of want to make it like Sloppy Joe color. So, if you don't have, most RVs come with a propane oven. They're really not, they're very inconsistent in my opinion. We have a pretty decent size, but still, it seems like the burner's right underneath the center and things just burn super quick and you just can't get it up to temperature. You know, we have a thermometer in there. We also put a ceramic stone, pizza stone, to kind of heat up and balance it out. Unfortunately, that had cracked either from point A to point B in our travels. Actually, I think it happened when we were down in the snow territory. Temperatures were super cold outside, and we turned it on and it cracked. It's no longer in there. But I would recommend putting a stone in there to balance the heat so things don't burn, and then you can get a pretty consistent, you know, if you don't have an electric convection oven. So generally when we camp, we normally have a generator or we're on electric. So we use the resources that are available while we camp. So, and again, propane, pretty expensive. We only use it to heat water. Alright, so we're going to take this off, let it cool down for a couple minutes, and we're going to roll out our pizza crust. Alright, so now we took the sausage, peppers, onions off, and we're letting it cool down a little bit. So now we're gonna roll out our pizza crust. This part of the counter came, it had some cheesy ass brackets, if I recall. We put heavy duty brackets under here to extend it, and then they fold down. Need it. So definitely a lifesaver for something small like this. So we'll give us a little sprinkle. Even my dog thinks my food's good. All right, so for a couple bucks, this dough is best for making Stromboli. Super cheap, super easy, and it comes out pretty darn good. Oh, welcome back, Scrappy. All right. Oh, look at that. So I had these sitting out probably a half hour beforehand, and what we want to do is kind of unfold them. Look at that, it's almost square. So like I said, you don't even need a rolling pin for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of this filling, we're going to keep it off the sides about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. We don't want to go crazy with it. We got a couple of these to make. And, this is where 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And we'll do one more over here. All right, looking good. A little more. All right. Parmesan cheese. Everybody likes cheese. And we got mozzarella. And it doesn't take much, but we're not making a pizza. So. All right. Now we're going to fold the sides just in a little bit. Alright, we're going to start on this side and we're going to roll it. This side. Alright, looks fantastic. Next week, I want to make donuts. And so we're just going to slide this over. We're going to do our other one real quick, and then we'll egg wash it, put a couple slits in there, and sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds on top just for appearance. Got to sprinkle. Alright, like I said, I already cracked the eggs. Got myself a brush. We'll brush these things down so we get some golden color. And what we're going to do, we're just going to do a couple little slits. Allow the steam to escape. And then we're going to sprinkle some sesame on it. Alright, and that's what we got for now. So the recipe calls for 500 degrees for 10 minutes and then finished off at 375 for the next 10-15 minutes until desired color. We're gonna preheat. All right, so we're gonna pop this in for about 20 minutes. First 10 minutes at 500. After that, 10, 15 minutes. This recipe came from the Whisk app. I don't know if you've ever researched it or looked it up, but plans your meals out for the week. You know, it puts all the ingredients in your shopping cart for wherever you shop at, Walmart, Piggly Wiggly's, IGA, doesn't matter, whatever. So you come up with the recipes, it throws it all in the cart, and that's what you got. Now, if you already have that, you can take out certain items if you already have a stockpile. So that's what we do. Every 2 weeks, we put a list together, make all our meals for the week, and all right, guys, the Strombolis have been in there for about 15, 20 minutes, so let's turn the camera around, let's take a peek and see what we got. We're coming to the finishing. Oh yeah, sizzling up pretty nice. So we'll give it another 6-7 minutes, and then we'll pull them out. All right, here we go. Gonna pull some Strombolis out. All right, how's that look? Wow.
Hey,
Go.
I heard there was Strombolis on the menu. Wow, I'm hungry.
Wow. Thank you for coming. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe. I mentioned the Whisk app. Try it out. Description and link below. Sausage, onion, pepper, Stromboli. Like super easy, affordable RV dinner. Look at this. All the dishes are sitting in the sink. You can't even see it. That's how many we used. Thanks for coming. Dave, Rolling Springs Ranch. Here we have the final product. We broke it down for you guys. Again, working out of an RV, you're working with limited space, so you can only buy small quantities of food. We priced it out for these 2 Strombolis. Actually, pretty decent weight. Comes to about $12, $13 for the pair. Not too bad. Now, we're not going to eat both of these in one night. We'll have leftovers for tomorrow and maybe possibly the following day. So it does go pretty far. So it's not too bad, $13. Where can you get that in your local pizzeria? Signing off.
Just add in there that we made enough to make 3. We do have a third in the oven because you doubled the recipe in this thing.
Check out the description below on the bottom of this video for a link. Whisk app, try it. Dave, Rolling Springs Ranch, signing off on this Friday evening. Till next time.